Certainly things are getting active in the open waters of the Atlantic Basin. Not only do we have Earl, but we have Fiona and we also have Gaston. As we take a look right now at the particulars on Hurricane Earl, a Category 4 storm, the pressure has been dropping, especially late last night. It dropped, and that usually translates into an intensifying hurricane, which now winds of 140 miles per hour. Note the movement toward the north-northwest at about 18 miles per hour, but this is a classic textbook case scenario of a hurricane here. As we zoom in a little closer right now, you can see well-defined eye, and you can see deep convection, cold cloud tops around the center of circulation. So watching it get a little too close for comfort here as we go in time, and certainly you're starting to see some of the higher clouds moving inland, and that will be the case throughout the day. Conditions will go downhill, especially around the outer banks of North Carolina as we get into this evening and early Friday morning. But we have hurricane warnings posted around the outer banks of North Carolina to about the North Carolina and Virginia border, and also we have hurricane watches posted as we move a little farther north of that, and also as we move around the Cape Cod area. So watching for hurricane conditions possible in those areas within the next 48 hours and 36 hours. In the meantime, as we look at the projected path of Earl, waiting and watching on that turn more toward the north and then eventually the northeast. Already making more of that northerly turn, but watching that trough that will be coming down, that will eventually kick it back out to sea. But nonetheless, it looks like our closest approach to North Carolina will take place as we move into your time frame tonight and early on Friday morning. Also, we have tropical storm warnings that have been posted as we move around the Delmarva Peninsula, and likely to see these change as we get new information in with the next advisory here. So you'll want to keep it here to the Weather Channel for the latest information on that. So as far as what to expect here as we look at the potential wind scenarios, we know that that projected path, if it stays a little closer to the coast, will have major implications versus a track a little farther to the right. So as we look at the worst case scenario here, we're talking about major hurricane damage, strong storm surge here, because you have to take into consideration that hurricane force winds extend outwards of about 90 to 100 miles or so, and tropical storm force winds extend outwards of about 230 miles. The better case scenario, that track a little farther to the right. Of course, timing is critical on all of that. Adam?
And, you know, I wish everybody I could say that that was the only ball game in town. Absolutely not. We have Fiona, we have Gaston, and then maybe more trouble pushing off the African continent. So let's talk a little bit about Fiona. Looking ragged right now. The official forecast takes it off towards the northwest and then eventually due north. The one we're probably a little bit more worried about, that's Gaston. Behind it, it might go a little bit farther to the south, which could be trouble.